Welcome back to the Why So Series podcast. We are back for another episode this week to talk about this week in entertainment and nerddom. And we have a special guest this week. Well, he's not super special, but he's special for the main show because he's my partner in crime on the movie reviews. We got Rashanii with us today. Rashanii, what's going on?
My mama said I'm special enough.
Rashanii is special to us. Mike and Devin are here too. No Danielle today. She was here last night, so you got your Danielle taste. She been hating on the regular show recently. She been hating, so we're going to have to get her back on the main show. But before we get started, Rashanii, for people who don't listen to the movie reviews, tell everybody about some of the shows you do and where they can find you and stuff.
All right, so deep breath. Hi, my name is Rashanii. I'm the host of the Single Simulcast, the Dream Team, 20 Minutes. I am also on Storytellers, and I am on the Why So Series Movie Review Podcast. I am available on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Music. I am available on Libsyn. Single Simulcast is the headliner. It is the flagship show. Thank you so much. I had the word. It was gonna be something to write as I was falling asleep tonight. I would have burst. Flagship. It is the flagship show. It is myself and the always wonderful, the illustrious Shantae Fabulous. We talk about ill shit, trill shit, and real shit. We talk about social justice issues. We talk about issues in the community. We talk about trans issues. We talk about just white folks fucking up in the world. Really, we got this topic right now that's just been ongoing because it won't stop called AW. AW stands for Adventures in Working with White Women.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's good. The one when I was on there was real good.
Because all roads in working with white women lead to the cops being called. And when I say that, I swear, just today in my city, well, not in my city, but in my state, a white person in Safeway called the cops on a black woman for giving food to a homeless person. Mm-hmm. This is getting out of control, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about that on the show. We also have a show called Storytellers. Storytellers is the combination of two things: the game telephone and really just improvisation and stories. We have four people who get together and we'll pull 4 or 3 cards out of a box. The cards are usually a person, a place, and a situation, and from that we will build a story. The first person starts the story, but the way we start the story is that we do it separately. So the first person will go to a separate place and begin the story. They'll have 3 to 5 minutes to tell their segment of the story. They will then send that segment off to the second person, who will then continue the story, telling their own section that is 3 to 5 minutes long. This is where it starts to get interesting. See, the third person doesn't ever hear what the first person said. They only hear what the second person sends to them, which is the second first part of the story. They then continue the story in 3 to 5 minutes, and then they send it off to the fourth person. The fourth person never hears the first or the second person's story, only the third person segment, and the fourth person has to close it off. We all then get back together, and we sit down and we listen to the story. Each person will listen to their segment and then say exactly what the hell they were thinking about when they told their segment. So far, we've had 2 different volumes. We are on episode overall 8, I believe. In the episode that we just had, we came out with some great new storylines, some great new catchphrases. The episode before that, we had a woman who got tired of people taking bites out of people's lunches at her job. So she decided to go and just put her pussy on everybody's sandwiches. That was a real story that came up on Storytellers, and we had to build on that. So it's always a good time, and it's all available, like I said, on Libsyn, on iTunes, and at www.singlesimulcast.com. Check us out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. I was on there. It's the best. It's one of my favorite shows. When I was on there, Rashanii went into this long story about some white woman he was dealing with. It wasn't even like a news story. It was like his life. So his life is a crazy thing.
See, in the last episode we sat back and we talked about how the worst concert I'd ever been to, which was Heatwave at a free concert in Washington, D.C., right there at, what is that square? right off the metro. Never mind. Anyhow, downtown DC, right there in the middle of DC, off that one metro stop, and it was in the middle of summer, and everybody's grooving because Heatwave's gonna be out there. And then Heatwave found out that they weren't gonna get paid because it was a free concert. Long story short, them niggas sang Boogie Nights 5 times in a row and then dipped.
Yikes, that is good.
And we talked about it on the show, and it was absolutely excellent. So if you want to laugh and think and all that good stuff, I mean, we're there. There's a lot of shows that are out there, and we appreciate you taking time out to listen to us because we got something to say. Just like most podcasters do, we're all unique in our own. We all got our own thoughts and everything. But if you have a moment, just an extra couple hours, check us out. I don't think you'll regret it, and if you do, at least you'll know why you regret it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
it's two Americas. There's two Americas.
All right, so let's get into our little intro. So, Mike's been awful quiet. You need to start speaking up, Mike. What'd you do nerdy this past week?
Actually, I did do something. For the longest time, I've wanted to subscribe to a mystery box type service, but they've always been. I don't know why I haven't done it, but I saw that Amazon is partnered with Funko and did one, and I subscribed to it. And I got my first one. I was pretty excited. It was a Deadpool themed box.
Can you tell it? I was about to say, can you tell it what the fuck Funko is? Because I don't know.
It's those things I got in my studio.
Oh yeah. Those little there's hundreds of them, and then and so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to describe.
You have to catch up because Brandon's kicking your ass.
Oh yeah, I have maybe 3 now, but you get a little Pop Funko, and then you get a bunch of other smaller things, and it's themed. So this was Deadpool. The next one is Venom themed because of the Venom movie. That's what the subscription service said. So
it's gonna be awful.
Yeah, but I'm sure the box will be cool. So
the box probably will be cool. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's not Pop Funko Venom movie. I don't think it's gonna be because I don't think the Pop Funko I got of Deadpool was one of the bigger ones. I got the one he's riding a unicorn, so I don't think that was in the movie. So I don't think there's. It may be Venom themed, but I don't think it's gonna be stuff from the movie. I hope it's not stuff from the movie because I don't really want that. But I did that, and I caught up on a bunch more comics, like Titans and stuff that I not non-Batman related comics.
What else? Titans and what else?
Titans, Detective Comics. I guess that is Batman. What else? Oh, Green Arrow and Flash.
Oh, you all caught up on Flash War?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Flash War is so good. I love that.
Is it?
Yeah, Flash.
Yeah, I was real behind on those. Titans is my favorite, I think, aside from Batman, though. I love Titans.
Devin, what about you?
I just nerded out on the TV for the most part. Been watching Batman the animated series. Shit is amazing. Mike, I hope you're loving it because it's fucking great. Just everything about that puts me in a time machine, and it's I love every bit of the animation and how they didn't have chronological order with the episodes. They didn't give a fuck. They just
they don't give a fuck. I'm torn though now. I have 2 shows that I'm watching. I'm watching the animated series and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I just discovered.
Oh man, yeah, enjoy it. It's a slow burn, man. It's really good. It gets better and better every season.
9-9 or the animated series?
No, 9-9.
9-9 is great.
It's gold. You don't get any better than the animated series of Batman. For 93, that shit's amazing. Also, my weekly anime stuff. Tokyo Ghoul is fucking amazing. If you get a chance, check it out on Hulu. Hero Academia comes on Saturdays on Hulu. If you have Hulu, it's fucking amazing. Also, Boruto, still great. And I looked at the couple episodes of Fantastic Four for a review on it, and then I've definitely been reading issues. Yeah,
Episodes.
Looking at a couple. Yeah, my bad. Definitely did a couple of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and I'm just getting ready for this trip to Bermuda.
So did you
tomorrow,
make a decision yet on next month?
Oh yeah, we're just gonna go with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Man.
All right, because last time you said Moon Girl or Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, but we're gonna go with Moon Girl.
Okay, so next month's history episode will be on Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. Devin just broke some news.
Awesome.
So there's that. Rashanii, what about you? Anything nerdy you did in the last week?
I debated whether or not to get a new skin for my PlayStation 4. See, the way that happened was initially I was debating whether or not to get Spider-Man 4
I'm buying
or
it.
the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 just for the PlayStation. Like, I don't care about the game because I already have it pre-ordered for the PlayStation Pro I already got. So my beloved wife was kind enough to remind me that nigga, and by the word nigga will be used frequently and very, very maliciously in these next couple sentences. Nigga, what the fuck were you thinking, nigga? You already got Spider-Man pre-ordered. I know that, nigga, because I bought it for you for Father's Day, nigga, and it hasn't even came out yet, nigga. So come on now, nigga. And so I was like, and then she was like, nigga, what you gonna do with the other PlayStation 4 you already got? And I was like, I got kids. And she was like, nigga, if you give that to one of the kids, the other 3 will descend on you like fucking harpies, nigga. No, not like harpies, nigga, like herpes, nigga. And be like, nigga, when are we getting a PlayStation 4, my nigga? And I was like, them niggas wouldn't say my nigga. And she was like, nigga. And I was like, nigga. And then we was like, nigga, hey, Mike. So I decided, not my wife, don't let her tell you that. My wife decided that I'm not getting the PlayStation 4. With Spider-Man. And so we collectively, no, really, she went online and found some skins and she was like, ooh. And then I was like, nah. So I looked and I was like, I'll get this Joker one. But then, something funny happened. The longer I looked at the skin, the dumber the whole idea of getting a skin on my PlayStation 4 became. Like, I don't take the PlayStation 4 out of my room. It doesn't leave my house. It doesn't go to other people's houses. I'm not showing this off anywhere. A. B. Nobody comes into my room because I don't want people in my room because I don't want them touching my stuff. C. I don't look at my PlayStation 4. I look at the TV. Now, if I put a skin on my TV, that means I was watching a lot of porn. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so I decided, after it was all said and done, to not get a skin for my PlayStation 4, which was probably a good idea because my youngest son came in and saw me looking at skins and was like, ooh, I want one. And so he was picking out a skin for his Xbox One, and it just would have turned into like a $50, $60 venture that I didn't want to pay for. So that's probably the nerdiest thing I did. I read books.
Yes.
What'd you read?
I somehow found, wink, wink, all of James Patterson's books and put them all onto my iPad. So I was reading the books that I somehow discovered. I think I paid for them, if you're listening. Or they're just really long free samples. But one of them were missing. The Alex Cross run from the Alex Cross series was missing. So I had to go to the library and check it out. And so I checked that out, and then I checked out another James Patterson book called Invisible, and then I checked out this urban novel book or urban fiction book called Bad Behavior, which I only got like 3 chapters in. I know that I'm not supposed to say anything bad about urban novels. So I know I'm not supposed to say anything about urban fiction, and I'm supporting everybody black and all that good stuff, but niggas, when y'all write books, when you're writing when you're writing a book, you don't, just because you're black and you're writing to a black audience doesn't mean you have to take days off. Like, seriously.
No, see, this is where you're missing it. That's not that they're taking days off. This is what's happening. They are writing those books for the Breakfast Club audience, not you.
And you know what? And it's crazy that you say that because I actually have a lot of respect for how hard they had to work to sound really fucking stupid. Like
two Americas.
Those books are just like the lowest common denominator. And I was reading it and I couldn't. I checked it out because I was like, I'm bored and this might be funny, but it wasn't even funny. It was just like. And then on the other end, I checked out a book called Blackwashed, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And it was supposed to be a humorous book written by a black guy based on his life in the 80s. And he's a lawyer. So a black lawyer in the 80s. But it was so highbrow. Like, y'all don't have to try and use big words. I guess I'm the Shania Twain of books. Like, I just feel like Shania Twain every time I read a book. because when I read a book and they try and go too gully, I'm like, that don't impress me much. And when they try and go too highbrow, I'm like, that don't impress me much. You know, just keep it casual. You know, draw me in, make me think, let me out. You're not Ta-Nehisi Coates. You are not. Don't try and be him. This is your first book. Baby steps, nigga. You might have something to say, but if it takes me 5 chapters to get to what you think you might want to say, I'm cashing out after the second one.
Wow.
And so I cashed out on him and went right back to Alex Cross. And so now I'm 7 more books into this series that I found at my mama's house.
I was gonna throw your mama house in there. That was
and loving it, because James Patterson is a white guy writing about a black dude, and I really just have not come to grips with that yet. But other than that, it's fucking perfect.
Oh yeah, Alex Cross is good. Didn't they fucking Tyler Perry pay Alex Cross?
We don't talk about that.
Oh,
it's like the Green Lantern talking about his old movies. We don't talk about those.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's terrible. But this last Rashanii segment has been word nigger. It could be nigga. I'm sorry. It could be an adjective, noun, verb, descriptive thing, and many other things, and express convey like a lot of emotion. So the word nigger is especially for our Black community members. We appreciate you listening to our podcast. And Brandon, take it away with your nerd stuff. Go ahead,
nigga.
All right. So, I read Justice League Dark #1 that just came out. There's a new Justice League book that was good. It was led by Wonder Woman and Zatanna and Constantine and Swamp Thing. So, I like it. I caught up on Flash War, read Domino, which I'm loving. Love Gail Simone. Amazing Spider-Man's good. Red Saga, we'll get into that later because that's one of my favorite books and it's making me mad. I got through 2 seasons of The Expanse and I fucking love that show.
It's so good. It's so good. Thank you for that.
You started watching The Expanse?
You better believe it.
Oh yeah, I got through 2 seasons of The Expanse. I fucking love that. I purchased season 3 on Amazon because I wasn't gonna stop there.
You don't have to purchase it.
Yes, you
You're
do.
not a Brandon. No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I'm an Amazon Prime member. I got that shit. I seen
Season
that shit.
3 is not on Prime. Season 1 and 2 is on Prime. Letting you know.
I was watching that shit.
You weren't watching 3. You're watching 1 and 2 because I have.
It
Prime.
It said 2018 on that shit.
It don't. Season 3 is not on Prime. I'm telling you. I have Prime.
Wow. I don't. Apparently, sir, I got free access to that shit.
Apparently,
he found it at his mama's house.
No, he's not
no,
watching
it's my
season
mama.
3. He's mistaken. It's not on Prime.
I literally saw the first episode. Oh my god.
You're wrong.
I didn't watch season 3, but it's on there.
It's not. You're
and
wrong.
then I didn't have to. Okay.
I love how he's calmly just telling you that you're fucking wrong.
I looked at this shit and was like, God damn, Brandon. So when I see the video of
All
me
right.
fucking
When
playing,
you send me this video of you watching season 3, I'll believe it.
all right, thank you, sir.
All right. By the way, it's not on there. I checked and I had to buy it. I've also started reading we're doing Fantastic Four episode on August 8th when they come back on the comic books. So I started reading some old Fantastic Four and I fucking love the Fantastic Four. They are Marvel's first family for real. And I can't wait till they show up in a real movie, not the bullshit that Fox did. And yeah, it's been good. And I got a lot more episodes. I mean, issues to read. I'm acting like Devin, but gotta read that shit. So, all right. So I got a surprise article that was not in the show notes that I just want to talk about because it's funny. Facebook CEO loses nearly $16 billion in one day.
Yes.
Did y'all see that?
Who didn't see it? It was on everybody's news fucking feed. Everybody's shit.
Mike doesn't watch the news. Did you see that, Mike?
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, ironically.
Right?
That's where I get most of my news from, Facebook, Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Twitter is slightly better than Facebook.
For news it is, yeah, because it's easier. There's less of your friends on Twitter and more of like the pages you're interested in, you want to follow. So.
By the way, I don't know if y'all feel, probably Rashanii mostly because Devin's not really on there, but Facebook is at least my Facebook feed is way more problematic and fucked up than my Twitter feed.
By far.
Oh yeah. I've done a good job scrubbing my Twitter feed where I'm just in the space where it's like people. I don't want to say like echo chamber, but it's people like when I see fucked up shit, it's usually somebody retweeting it and making fun of it or quoting it or something like that. Whereas I go on my Facebook page and it's like, why can't I call women females or all types of gay jokes and stuff? I'm just like, what is going on here? This is so
you
weird.
know, the problem is that Facebook, Twitter, you choose who you got. You will block whoever you don't like, and you'll drag whoever goes far enough. Facebook is a bunch of sleeper cells.
I agree.
You never know which one of your Facebook friends is suddenly going to become woke, either on the light side or the dark side of things, and just go ham on your timeline one day. Like all of a sudden, you'll have your pastor all of a sudden saying, not to be the devil's advocate, but you'll be like, Bishop, how dare you? And the thing is, on Twitter, everybody got a fake name. Everybody got a pseudonym that is on top of your @ Like my @ isn't my real name. And right now, my pseudonym is Jenkins. Motherfucking something the third, you bish. So it ain't something. It ain't somewhere you're gonna find me. Facebook, they make you put your real name. So if you think about blocking somebody, you start feeling kind of iffy about it because you know those people might find you in real life or see you or talk to you like that. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing: even with their real name, they still be gully as fuck. Like they be out there saying the wildest, and you realize the people that's like not like your old friends or your family members that you don't really think about. And then they pop up on your timeline with some fuck shit. And I just be like, unfriend. Like, I unfriended, like, a lot of friends from high school over the past year. A lot.
Oh, man. A lot.
Like, in 2016, it was mostly, like, old white friends from high school that I saw supporting Trump. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And then at the end of 2016, it was like black dudes who are super toxic, and I'm just like, I never really paid attention to it. And then now at the space that I'm in now, I get on there and it just like sticks out like a sore thumb when they do those things, which like 6-7 years ago, me, even like 5 years ago, me probably would not even have like batted an eye. And now I see like the smallest hint of toxic masculinity, and I'm like, oh, I can't follow this nigga. I'm out. I'm just out.
Dude, you know what? So you know what I've realized as I've gotten older, and not a lot of people will do this. This is just me, you know, Rashanii being me, being cool, whatever. The older I get, the less funny comedy that used to be really fucking funny becomes. Mm-hmm. Because I'll be laughing at something like my beloved has Sirius satellite radio in her car. And so channels 94 through like 99 are comedy. And channel 96 is now Kevin Hart's comedy. It used to be Jamie Foxxhole, but now it's Jamie Foxx's, or now it's Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio. And they still do the same thing. Black comedians, Hispanic comedians, funny white comedians that black folks recognize as funny. So Gary Owens isn't on there. I digress. And so I used to be able to laugh at a lot of shit that they'd have on there, but now you listen to it, and a lot of comedians from like as early as like last week were making their jokes off of beating up women.
It's hard to listen to.
Being homophobic, calling women out their name and talking about how you got to take it and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, nah, dog, I can't laugh at this, and it's just just problematic as fuck.
And it doesn't seem like it's like coming from like some, like, I know exactly what you mean, because it's not even like they're like, and bitch, you did. It's more like it seems like it's like anger behind it, and like the anger was supposed to be funny. It wasn't like, and I told that bitch this, and like they just called her a bitch but said it like that. Like that type of comedy you can get past, but it's more like, and these bitches do this, and I'm like, it seems like it's some like it seems like it's some anger behind that or something.
Like that Dave Chappelle shit was borderline, right? But like at least Dave still made the story funny, even though that that trans shit isn't like cool or whatever, and it's not a place for that. And he's definitely admitted it was wrong or whatever, but
no,
he did it for the joke.
No, he didn't. And
no,
actually,
didn't.
Devin, question, Devin, if I may, and you don't have to answer. How old are you?
I am 32 years old, sir.
Yeah, that's back when I was like, Dave Chappelle is funny as fuck. The
I
thing
can get the comedic part of Dave Chappelle, but I mean, again, it's still problematic.
No, the thing is, and I'm not out here trying to be wokey McWokington, but I have friends who are trans, and it's just like, you know what?
Right.
The trans stuff is problematic as fuck, full stop. Like, that nigga knows he's like fucking 50.
Yeah.
And he's been all around the world. He's been in all sorts of experiences. My mindset is, at the age of 50, if you're still saying shit, you mean it. Like, there's no walking it back. There's no apology, which is why he didn't even do it. He didn't even try to apologize. He was just like, I am who I am, nigga. But for me as a listener, I'm just like, that's fucked up, right? Like even me personally, I get cringy when I hear people talking about somebody's weight.
Yeah.
Like making fun of somebody because of their size. Like I just heard, who was it? One of them white dudes, not Jim Jeffries. It was another one who was talking about, I saw this huge bitch who was just fat as fuck. And that was the whole joke. And I was like, whoa, wide load. And she backed up and started beeping. And I'm like, this shit is insulting to me.
But that's not even funny.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of people's rules are like, if it's funny, I can let it go. So like, even though, like, I went to see Dave Chappelle before this happened, and then he did that. I went to this. He did a recording for his Netflix special in DC, and I went to it. So this is when this happened. And I didn't expect this to come out. And then he said that, and I was like, oh, that's not good. But the thing with Dave is, here's the one thing. I don't agree with it, but this is what I will say. I am even more mad at comics who try to pretend like they not fucked up, or like what they said wasn't fucked up, or anything. Like, if you fucked up, like, you got to own being fucked up. If you're gonna make your comedian life out of being fucked up, then you can't have it both ways, right? You can't be like, I'm not fucked up, but I just make these fucked up jokes, but I ain't fucked up. It's all like, no, you got to own that shit. And then second, if it's funny, people are going to let it slide. Some people aren't going to let it slide, but general people are going to let it slide. The shit that you see, when you go back and listen to some of that old shit, like, it's not even funny in 2018. Like, I don't know who listens to that and laughs. Like, I have no idea who. I do know I have an idea, because I feel like we get caught in this, like, world that we live in, and I'm often reminded that, like, the rest of the world doesn't, like, exist in the same space that I live in. Like, I'm constantly reminded that. Like, Devin knows this. One time we went home from time, and our family was talking about Bill Cosby, and I was just sitting there like,
we was playing a game. It was like Black Card Rejected, Black Card Revolt, and we was talking about Bill Cosby.
And I was like, this is fucked up. Like, what? This is some fucked up shit. But like, it is not an excuse. But it's like, people. The reason why it's not an excuse is because it's so easy to find this information out. Like, I don't get mad at people who don't know shit. I get mad at people who willingly don't know shit, and I get really mad at people who don't know shit, and then you're corrected, and then you still do the same shit. That's where I get that's where I get mad. And so, like, if you're really not up on, quote unquote, this new stuff, whatever people want to say, fine. Whatever. It is what it is. And then when somebody calls you out on it, you go, oh damn, I was fucked up. I need to be better. I mean, that's how it happened with me when I just started becoming a better person. Instead, people go, fuck this shit. That's not how I was taught about things. I blah 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 blah, and they keep going down their old road. It's fucked up.
People fail to evolve, man. People just stay the same, man, and like it's hard, man. Like, cause you have to lose friends when they don't evolve and shit. You know what I mean? Like, cause you can't be in those spaces anymore because you've grown past it. And it just hurts when it's people you really care about, but you can let them know, hey, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, either like try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes or look at it a different way, and they're like, nah, fuck that, man. It's always like that, man. Fuck those people. You know what I mean? Like people of LGBT communities and like that. Cause I be having to check my dad on that shit, man. That shit be hard, man. I be like, Daddy, man, come on, man. Like,
yeah, that's
like
hard.
they people. At the end of the day, like if you out here talking about people because what they do in their bedroom or whatever, or who they like and who they love, like that, there's no place for that, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real. But you have to stand up and say when you hear something wrong is injustice, you have to stand up for it. Like you really do. Like at least correct your family members because you do love them.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's difficult to correct your family. It's difficult to correct anybody, really, because sometimes it's scary. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you're correcting somebody who you respect, or sometimes you're correcting somebody who maybe in your mind higher than you on the food chain or on the pecking order. It might be somebody you don't respect, like your boss or your mother-in-law or something like that. Right. But you have to, because the way I look at it is like this. And here's the question I asked the kids. I used to ask the kids at the Sunday school I used to teach at until they kicked me out because I was being too real.
We couldn't see that coming. We didn't see that coming at all. No.
Real talk. They were like, "Yo, you're not doing the memorized Bible verse that we're giving you in the book. You're not going off of the Jesus and the apple tree story you're supposed to do this Sunday." I was like, "No, they're seventh graders. We're doing what they've gone through this week and then basing it back to a Christian-based lifestyle." But they kicked me out because I wouldn't stick to the Sunday school stories. But one of the things I asked the kids, because they were like, "It's so hard, Derek, to talk to your friends about Jesus. You don't want to be the one who runs up on them and like, hey, come to church, come to church, come to church, come to church, come to church. Because then they'll look at you like you're weird and they'll run away from you and you lose friends." And I was like, you know what? That's the problem with Christianity right now. We go way too hard in the paint to try and make people become Christians. I was like, here's a way you should think about it. And we were sitting outside at the college and I was like, that tree right there. And it wasn't a big tree. It wasn't a small tree. It was just a tree with maybe a 9-inch diameter trunk. And I was like, yo, that tree right there. And they were like, yeah, we see it, Derek. And I was like, with this house key, and I pulled a house key out of my pocket. I was like, with this house key, do you think you could chop down that tree with this house key? And they were like, just like you were, Brad. And they was laughing. They was like, no way can I chop down that tree with the house key. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? That's the problem. We all think we have to take an axe to cut down a tree when you can use this house key. See, you may not see anything when you hit it the first 5 times. You may not even see it the first 100 times you hit it. But if you keep hitting this tree with this house key, sooner or later you will make a dent. Sooner or later you will be able to break through. Sooner or later you will be able to knock this tree over. I was like, and it may not be you your whole life. You may die before this tree gets knocked down and somebody else will pick up the key and keep on chopping. It's the same way when you talk to people about Jesus. You don't have to knock them over with the first shot. You can be a house key. Just tap at it. Just open your mind up to the idea and then just leave. And it may not be you who they're like, hey, man, I want to come to your church. Hey, guy. Hey, Miss Lady, I want to come to your church. It may be 16 people down the line, but if you never even make that effort, if you never even try, then you failed. And they're like, we never even thought about it like that. So it's the same thing when you talk to people about trans issues, LGBTQ issues, political issues. You don't have to stand over their head with a gong and a hammer like, listen to me.
And the same thing with all those issues and like with Christianity. The other thing is, like, if you're going to do it, like, you got to do it. Like, you can't go in with the hypocrisies, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, if I care about race, and you see me going hard on race, see Angela Rye, you can't back up and then be like, but my homeboy raped these women, but, you know, these women be dressing like that, they deserve it. Like, you can't go. Like,
you can't do
Mike,
that, yeah.
Like, Mike went to the Catholic University of America. And
I was waiting for that to come up.
Mike went
to Notre Dame?
No. The Catholic University of America.
That's what it's called?
Yes. It is sponsored by the Catholic Church. It is the Catholic. They have a campus in the Vatican. Their campus is in D.C. They also have a campus in the Vatican. Mike went to the Catholic University of America. He could tell you hypocrisy stories about the people who are like the super beat you over the head Catholics, and then the things that they say when they're not beating you over the head about being a Catholic.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Brandon's office during those couple of years.
Brandon, you worked there?
I worked there, yes.
That's kind of dope. That's really dope, actually.
This is how we made this podcast a thing, yo.
I am the black, not Catholic person who works there. the black, not Catholic person from Baltimore working in this super ritzy. Oh, the school's not really ritzy, but the people who go there are well-off people, well-off, super Catholic. Everybody that goes there's not super Catholic, but a large percentage of people is. If you go to the Catholic University of America, that's an identifying factor for a lot of people who go there. So yeah, Mike knows all about that. So yeah, that was a little good tangent. I like that. So anyway, Mark Zuckerberg lost $16 billion in one day. That's gotta suck. But what this also made me think of was, see, I am not a complete socialist. I will say that I'm not. I mean, I get it, but here's the part of me. This is where I turn into a socialist. If you can lose $16 billion in one day and be just fine, and not jump off a building, not just completely go off the deep end, then there's a problem that you got that much money. Can you imagine how much money you got to have to lose $16 billion and be like, that was a bad day?
I want
just like that too.
I want to punch the niggas who got money walking around talking about it ain't tricking if you got it. Nigga, I can't even buy a Sonic milkshake without checking my bank account. And you walk around talking about it ain't tricking if you got it. Nigga, what? You punk, what? Let me hold something.
No. Hey, what I would say to you is that's the no kids problem. You don't got kids.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. But here's the funny thing. Go ahead.
I'm that nigga who's walking up to kids who just graduated. You know, the kids who graduate and their parents give them the lays, the candy lay and the lay with money on it or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm that nigga who walk up to them kids let me hold $10. I know you got it.
See?
What they gonna say?
You some real.
I mean, it's around their neck. What can you say?
That's some real Cali shit right there.
Devo and nigga, as they walk across the stage. Here's your diploma. Let me hold 10. God. Ain't nowhere to run. You can't go back across the stage.
Yo, chill, bro. God damn.
But listen,
that's real Cali shit for y'all. Yo.
The funniest part about this is Facebook lost $119 billion in the market value as their share price plunged, reportedly the largest single-day loss for any public company in history. The sell-off followed an earnings report showing growth in users and ad revenue had been slower than expected. Here's the funny part. Investors appeared to be alarmed by an alert from Facebook executives that revenue growth would slow as the company refocuses on improving user privacy and wiping out fake news. So think about this. They had the biggest loss in history because I'm no fan of Facebook and big business, but they had the biggest loss in history because they said, you know what? We should probably do a better job at improving our privacy standards and getting rid of some of this fake news. And investors said, what the fuck? I'm out of here. And think about that. They're trying
I need all this data mining, yo.
We want to be a slightly, just the minimalist of a better, corporate citizen. And investors were like, fuck this, I'm out. Fuck that shit, I'm out. And just got out of there. According to Forbes' real-time tracker of the world's wealthiest people, Zuckerberg fell from 4th to 7th for the world's wealthiest people on the planet.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm only number 2,479,816, but I'm sorry, Mark. Ass nigga, I guess. I don't know. You rich ass. Look,
that's perspective, yeah.
I just want to purge him. I don't even want to kill him with the purge. I don't want to kill him. No, I don't want to kill him. I want his money. Like people ask those silly questions like, what would you do if you could be Michael Jordan for one day? And niggas be like, I go out and score a triple double. Nah, nigga, I go out to his bank.
Yeah.
And I would transfer money out of my account or from his account to my account.
Be a legend at the bank, like Carmelo Anthony.
Hey, what's the world record for the most money taken out of here in one day? Watch this.
Yeah, I need y'all to go get them. I need y'all to get on the phone, call the trucks. I know y'all ain't got it in the safe. I know y'all ain't got it in the safe, but let's go ahead and make that phone call for them. We're going to need a couple trucks.
All right, let's get into... I don't want to go to the main thing I want to talk about. Let's do a couple small things first. Mission Impossible crushed the box office. They won the
Rashanii,
weekend.
we missed you yesterday, man. Damn.
Bruh, Movie Pass is so sinister.
Oh, yeah,
right
we'll
now.
talk about that in a second. Yep, we'll talk about that in a second. I'll let you get it all out. Mission Impossible opened up at $61 million in North America and $153 million globally. So $150 opening weekend, $150 million opening weekend is pretty damn good. Good for Mission Impossible. It was the best movie they've ever done, so that's good. Good for them. Tom Cruise, you know, you're an interesting dude, but you're a good ass fucking action star. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go was fucking amazing. I don't think any of you have saw it yet, so I'm disappointed. Rashani's going to see it tonight, though. It's great, and they make a ton of jabs at DC, like just a ton of jabs at the DC movie universe and everything. It's so good. I won't read the article because I don't want to spoil the movie, but it's good. Disney's next heroine will be an African princess. Look at that. Look at that.
Good, Shuri.
Deadline reports that Disney has scooped up an original live-action fairy tale about an African princess titled Sade. Here's the pitch. It centers on a young African girl named Sade who, when her kingdom is threatened by a mysterious evil force, accepts her newly discovered magical warrior powers to protect herself and her people. With the help of the kingdom's prince, Sade embarks on an adventure that will allow her to embrace what makes her special and save the kingdom. So she's going to be a princess and the person that saves the kingdom. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, and that's what black women do all day, every day. So let's give them some respect.
That's pretty dope. Pokemon movie gets a date. Are y'all in a Pokemon movie?
Hold on, time out. When we tell you Pokemon is getting a movie, like it's actually going to hit like box office?
Yes,
they have a lot of movies.
No, they're getting a movie. Like, remember the Pokemon movie from 2000? Like the actual movie? They're getting another one. Y'all in the Pokemon?
Do people keep up with that shit? Because they don't like Pokemon Black and White or not?
The kids keep up with it. I just know the first 164 when I was, like, we was younger? I don't remember.
Well, it was 162 or 164, yeah, something like that. Yeah, you're right.
It was like 20 years ago. I don't remember. But, yeah.
I just remember Mewtwo.
Man, everything. Mewtwo. But Charizard is my favorite.
I don't remember any of the other ones. Like you're saying, what? You're
Mike,
saying,
you're younger.
I know.
Good.
I know Pikachu and Mewtwo, and anyone past that is straight gibberish.
Mike,
what?
you're
you
younger
don't know my
than...
man Bulbasaur?
No, I know the ones that were on Super Smash Brothers. So I know Bulbasaur.
So you know Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff.
Yes.
And Pikachu and Mewtwo.
Mike, you're younger than us. What do you think about Pokemon?
I know up to the Black and the White game, but then I stopped playing.
Black and White? I don't know shit about that.
Yeah, I know about the Black and White game.
That was like 2011, 12. They had a Black and White game. And then, I don't know, I did it in like high school, and then I stopped after I went to college. I did Pokemon Go for like a month, though, and then...
Yeah, I couldn't get behind that.
So
I'm ready for it to hit that Switch, yo. Whenever Pokemon hit the Switch, yo, I'm getting the Switch.
So are you excited about the Pokemon movie, Mike?
I don't know if I'm excited about it. I don't even know if I'll see it. It depends really what... I mean, I don't know. I don't. I mean, it's not really...
What if I told you it was a live-action movie?
See, that'd make me feel a little uncomfortable. I'm not really sure how that would work.
That's too many. Yo, like... How do you have that many Pokemon? Like, yo, that's gonna take forever to come.
Like, what are they gonna do though? Too, it's like, is it with Ash, like the dude from the show?
Can you imagine just walking around, just got these monsters, just randomly sitting?
Yeah, it's gonna look weird. I'd rather watch the Super Pets movie. I think.
It's the extinction of all the human race right there, yo. Yo, Charizard get mad. He's scorching the earth.
I'd rather watch the if we're gonna watch a movie about little monsters, I'd rather watch the DC Super Pet movie that they're trying to make.
A Super Pet movie? I don't think I want any parts of that.
You didn't hear that? They're trying to make a movie about like Crypto and Ace and all the super sidekicks.
Oh god,
that's so awful.
You didn't hear about that? I thought that was
no.
I was wondering if that was going to be in your notes. Yeah. There's going to be a movie about the DC sidekicks. The guy in charge was like, "Yeah, we're trying to." I remember Marvel said this like 3 years ago. Marvel was like, "Yeah, all of our characters are so unique and fancy, and we're trying to give each. You'll see each one in their own special spotlight." So DC said the same thing, but instead, after they said it, they were like, "So we're going to do a DC Super Pet movie."
I mean, like, Crypto did have his own show, yo.
I was like, you guys were so close. You guys were so close.
All right, here we go. This is for Rashanii. Future movie pass is in doubt after service outage. Go.
Fuck those niggas. So,
Thank you.
Gotta unsubscribe.
Being a long-time subscriber of Movie Pass, I'm gonna ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. I'm like the person who knows they're in a bad relationship, but the other person's rich. So it's like, until you divorce me, I ain't going nowhere. You don't beat me. You don't do nothing like that. You just don't talk to me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not leaving till you divorce me, and then I'm gonna take half your shit. I'm gonna continue to watch Movie Pass movies until they kick me out the house. Here's the problem with it. They keep trying to kick a nigga out. Like right now, I was just looking at Movie Pass because I was like, I'm gonna go see Teen Titans go to the movies. Movie Pass, it is 5 p.m., 5:20 p.m. when I took these pictures, and I posted them up on Facebook. But 5:20 p.m. when I posted up these pictures, I went on Movie Pass, and all three of the movies in my area, usually they had them where it was grayed out, where you just couldn't select it. So like Mission Impossible Fallout was grayed out through this weekend. You just couldn't go at all. You couldn't select it. There was this other one that was, and Brandon, you're going to have to help me out again because I keep wanting to call it Dirty D's Done Dirt Cheap Detective, was grayed out. You couldn't select it. And then there were the movies that I'd already seen that you just couldn't select because you'd already seen them. And then the rest of the movies had that stupid premium thing where if you selected, it cost between $5 and $12, people.
$12?
$12 to see a movie. So I was like, fuck these niggas. Well, that was then. This is now. Today at 5:20 p.m., I went on Movie Pass. While we were recording this show, I went on Movie Pass just to see if Teen Titans Go was available because I was trying to see what time I was going to go see this movie. All three movie theaters in my area, Movie Pass says there are no more screenings. ...
Jesus.
What?
There are no more screenings.
Movie Pass, the subscription-based movie ticket service, was forced last week to borrow $5 million after the report it could not pay its bills.
Yikes.
Raising new questions about the embattled company's viability. See, if I were a problematic, self-hating Uncle Tom, I probably would say something, a joke revolving around the owners of Movie Pass being black and not paying his bills. But I have evolved past that at this point in my life.
I was going to sing Destiny's Child. I can't pay my bills. Can you help me pay my bills? I was just going to change the words a little bit. But, bro, I just want to put out the suggestion that I've been saying since like day 6 when I realized how fucking great Movie Pass really was. And really was. I'm saying was like past tense. It was greatness. But what they should have done while it was greatness was this. Hey, treat it like crack. Hey, nigga. Hey, come here. I got that Movie Pass. Hey, I got that Movie Pass. First month, first hit, $9.95. Ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. It's $9.95. See all the movies you want to see every day. Every day, nigga. Listen, every single day. I got that work for you. They come back for that second hit, that second month, and then it's like, hey, it bumped up to $35.
It's $35 right now?
No, that's what I'm saying. It would have worked if that first month had been a trial month at $9.95, and then after that, every month after that was a regular price at $35. I would have paid that gladly, and they would have been able to sustain everything moving.
Absolutely.
Because once you experience Movie Pass the way it was supposed to be, You don't want to not. I don't think you do. Movie pass it through. So, like, if you experience Movie Pass Away, it was supposed to be experience, which was going to see whatever movie you want to see, however many times you want to see it. That first month, then you'll be willing to pay for it that second month because
you're going back.
Something like that.
Yo, they could have told me I got to pay a $50. They could have told me I got to pay $100 initiation fee, and then I just pay $10 after that. I'd have done it in a heartbeat.
And the problem is they tried to be too nice about how they did this, offering it to everybody at like $9.99.
Yeah,
you can't sustain that. At least make the price something where, look, you're selling it to us for $10. My movie ticket costs $12.
Right.
How are you making any money whatsoever? Because I'm going every day.
You're not even charging matinee prices. You charging like before 5 prices and
shit. Nigga, like because you know what? Because you know what happened out here? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you because I'm shady as shit. They would try and give me matinee prices, and I'd be like, nope, give me that full 12 because I need it for my Regal card.
Listen, they were betting on it to be like Netflix. They were betting on a ton of people signing up because I can go to as many movies I want for $9.99 and only go on like once or twice a month, and I have a whole bunch of other people who go once every other month when a movie comes out. They forget that they had that shit on there coming out their card. Like some people got Netflix and just watch House of Cards and keep it on all year.
You're right.
And then don't watch it till House of Cards come back around, or only watch the Marvel shows, but you pay for it.
Or be like, there's nothing on Netflix. Like, what are you talking about?
People do that all the time. So Movie Pass was betting on that. And what they found out was the only people who originally knew about Movie Pass were people who love the fucking movies and were like, nigga, I can go to the movies 5 times a month for $10? What?
And I'm buying this for me and my girl, nigga. We in there. Like, what are you like?
And they started
niggas who were sitting in the back of theaters watching movies that they would have never watched because of Movie Pass. That was a beautiful side. But then there were niggas who were paying for the ticket and then selling it.
Oh yeah, that's a change up right there. I like that. That's a game.
Buy the ticket, sell the ticket for less than it costs for the ticket, and then use that money to go get something to eat. And I'm not saying that my kids did it. I'm just saying it's a good idea.
Oh, without question.
So, look, there's ways that they didn't see what was going to happen. And like you said, Brandon, the people who initially were on Movie Pass were the people who love movies. Like folks like us who will go see like, yo, there ain't nothing on TV. I'm going to the movies. I got Movie Pass. I can do that. You had to expect that there was going to be somebody who was going to nigga. When Black Panther came out, I openly told people I was trying to see it at least 60 times.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
On Movie Pass's dime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they literally could have had a board meeting or whatever and said, we got to change this because I know they was losing money by May.
But here's the thing.
Infinity Wars came out?
If they'd have
even
done
if
this,
they sent the email,
No, go ahead, Devin.
If they had sent the email out after Infinity Wars came out and it said we are changing the tier status or just we're going straight to $30, like nobody would have had a problem with that, and we still could have seen the unlimited movies as many times as you wanted to. Like nobody would have had a problem with that, yo.
Listen, if they move this price to $25 right now, that'll save them. You think I'm giving up my Movie Pass? You know how many times I go to the movies?
Right.
Even here's the thing, I go to the movies so much. If you told me I can't see the same movie twice, I'm still keeping the Movie Pass. I absolutely go to the movies at least 3 to 5 times a month. That and where I live, that's $60 minimum. Almost like Silver Spring got the really nice theaters and the really nice seats and shit. They're like $18, $17. IMAX ticket it's like $20 plus $22, $24, something like that. I go to the movies. I'm going regardless. You make that $25, I'm paying. I'm sorry, I'm paying. I'm keeping it.
I will pay whatever you want. It's like finding that perfect person that you just want to spend the rest of your life with. You can literally say whatever you want to me. I'm not leaving. I'm like Jennifer Hudson when it comes to Movie Pass. I'm telling you, I'm not going. I'm not leaving without you. You're the best thing without me. I don't want to be free.
without you.
And you gonna love me. You gonna love me, nigga, because I ain't going nowhere. Shout out to Diddy. It's Movie Pass for life. I am addicted. We are in this bitch, and they had to ruin it. They just decided that it was in their best interest to try and make changes. That it and just be honest with me. Be honest. If you want to stop doing something, just let me know. We ain't doing
We ain't
this.
got it, boss. They say we ain't got it. We ain't got it no more. We can't do this
Exactly.
shit.
Hey, y'all. Hey, this is the head of Movie Pass. We need your help. Niggas is broke. Niggas would have dug into their pockets damn near immediately
I would have.
to help save Movie Pass.
They could have done a GoFundMe. All these
Exactly.
anything.
Oh, I would have broke them off so quick. Nigga, we got a patron for Movie Pass. If you are on this tier, we will give you 5 free tickets to premieres. We will do this, that, and the third if you're on this tier. Nigga, don't you know?
They didn't know they had the new shit. They didn't know they had that Blue Magic, man. They had that.
There are so many ways to save Movie Pass, and they just thought folks were just going to stick around because, you know, they like us. They really, really like us.
Man, they're bored. I mean, I just think a venture capitalist company should like swoop in and save this because, I mean, it's too good to give up. You know what I mean? Like, on that company, like, the way they're set up, man, it could definitely shift the paradigm of how we watch movies, man, because people love movies. And if you give them something that you can make profitable and still offer a service that is great, people will come and sign up and enjoy the movies because it's an experience. People love going to the movies, man.
Period.
Period. All right, and you got me fucked up news. Ryan
We
Johnson.
still talking about Movie Pass because they got me fucked up.
No, Ryan. Well, yeah. Ryan Johnson deletes more than 20,000 tweets following James Gunn's firing.
Hey, my man said I got to secure my bag. I am not getting fucked up in these streets.
Ryan Johnson is the director writer of The Last Jedi. Deleted all his posts prior to January 25th of this year. Listen, all right, so I'm not gonna get back into the James Gunn thing. Like we talked about it before. I'm not about to save this dude, but I can also see why people are upset. But I'm not about to take that bullet for the dude. And
Nah, because it happened in baseball too, though, yo.
However, no, that was much worse. What happened in baseball? Much worse.
Oh yeah, it's way worse. But I mean, not our sports.
But Ryan Johnson was like, I'm not saying I said fucked up shit. What I'm saying is I'm not about to let these trolls say I said fucked up shit. And look, here's the thing. I can't blame him. Listen, I say this all the time. I dig it, man.
You're not gonna get my. You're not gonna go dig up the fucking graveyard.
If you went and talked to 2000 and Twitter came out, I joined Twitter in 2009. That's almost 10 years ago. If you would have went and talked to 2009 Brandon, you would be appalled at some of the shit that 2009.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
Oh, bro, the worst thing about being a veteran podcaster is knowing you got podcasts. Nigga, I got a episode called "You Cannot Turn a Reality Hoe into a Housewife," and
it's on wax. It's on wax.
And it's on wax. I cannot deny it. I cannot run from it. The episode goes on and on because it was when Chad Ochocinco was married, whatever her name was from that one show, Evelyn. And I was like, that nigga, I'm not condoning him going up against her head or something. And it was just all bad, nigga. I got episodes. Look, I talk like I'm woke. I swear I'm better now, but I got episodes where I was just saying some off the wall type shit, and I listen to it now, and I'll be laughing at the funny shit that I say, and then some problematic shit will come up, and I'll just be like, damn, I really said that.
But
and now
today I'm better.
That was like 2011, and so look, everybody's got something that they've done or said that has gotten them fucked up. The only difference is 95% of the stuff that some people did or said was before social media, so it can't come back to bite them. A lot of these niggas is on social media right now thinking they're comedians. A lot of these white folks are on social media right now thinking that they're politicians or comedians, and they're saying problematic stuff. Somewhere down the line, people are going to come back and see it. There was a dude who plays for the Atlanta Braves, and was 2 hits away from a no-hitter. And so trolls went and looked on his Twitter and found where he was calling his friends or whoever fags.
Yep, I saw that.
9 years ago when he was a senior in high school. If you knew what I was saying when I was a senior in high school, you'd be at my door. We were playing games when I was in 7th grade, a game where you threw a football up in the air and then tried to hit whoever caught the football. For some reason, that game was called Smear the Queer.
The queer. Yep.
I have no idea where it was called that. I don't approve of it being called that. But nigga, do you know what we called it when we was playing it? It was called that. And it wasn't nothing we thought about. It was just called that. We get better as time goes on. That's just the way I look at it. People mature. People see
People
stuff.
that choose to get better, though.
People, but look, also people choose to get better. Yes, very much so. But also there are people who are blessed enough to run into people who help them improve.
Exactly.
Who show them other ways, who talk to them and counsel them instead of dragging them and canceling them, and they get better. There are people who get in trouble, but don't get like completely killed for their trouble and have an opportunity to grow and improve. And I can tell you right now that there are at least 9 of your favorite podcasters off the top of my head who have done some abhorrent shit. And time has just passed by. They either have the liberty of deleting what they said, they have grown from what they said and apologized for what they said, they have premium content and so you can't find what they said, or they just deleted what they said. But anyway it goes, everybody has tried a joke. Everybody has said something and it didn't work. Everybody has been in a bubble where they didn't know something or didn't know somebody or didn't know something and stepped out on a limb. And if nothing else, all of us have had that experience where a woman has said she has a boyfriend and we all went back to that song from the 90s. What's your man got to do with me?
Amen.
So if nothing else, we all have that to live with. We all have issues. It's just how forgiving are the people who are around you? How big is the mob who wants to kill you? And how much of a favorite are you? Those are the 3 questions that keep you safe or get you killed.
And how extreme did you go?
Exactly.
Because like I am not opposed to canceling people, but I definitely don't subscribe to cancel everybody for everything that sometimes you see when you're in the Twitter space that like we are in. Like you see that a lot. Like cancel him, cancel her, everything.
Drag them.
And I'm like, I don't have a problem canceling people who deserve to be canceled, but I have a hard time canceling somebody for something that's not, and it's hard for me to. It's like I always catch myself because I'm like, maybe I'm privileged and I don't take it as serious as I should. But at other times I'm just like, but like if somebody like people got to get a chance to like become better. But then I always say, you know what? Part of becoming better is having to deal with what you said in the past too. So I see both sides of that, but I personally am not in the cancel everybody for everything group. However, I don't blame Ryan Johnson one bit. Listen, nigga. If I was a director at that level at Marvel or Disney doing Star Wars, you think I'm taking a chance with some right-wing Trump supporter trolls finding some joke I made 8 years ago and making me get fired? Nigga, I'm
it's the new norm, yo.
I'm cutting everything.
It's definitely going to be
and here's
norm,
the thing.
yo.
There's people got to understand. Like, one of the things that we do see on Twitter and stuff is this lack of nuance. Like, there is nuance to stuff. There is a difference between here's a perfect example. Homie from Villanova, what's his name?
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante DiVincenzo. He had a thing that they came up during the combine, not the combine, but the Chicago camp, where he had like tweeted out rap verses and it had nigga in it, right? And people were like, "Oh, that's fucked up." But you know, he was like 16 years old tweeting a rap verse, and then they had the dude from the Brewers, the pitcher Hader.
Oh my God!
He was 19 years old or 18 years old, and he was like, "White power, I love the KKK, fuck niggas, fuck gay people." And I'm like, and people were trying to be like, well, how come he
comes back?
How come you guys forgave DiVincenzo, but you not forgiving Hader? And I'm like, nigga, did you read what he wrote? Like, it's not the same.
Context matters.
Those are not the same things. Yeah. So like, there can also be nuance.
First of all, if he had Hader, if he had finished off that sentence with "get money," nobody would have been mad.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, seriously, if he had said fuck niggas, get money, they'd be like, oh, so
white power, and then like you could have said that's the Dave Spell shit, white power. You know what I mean? Like you could have just
seriously, if he had said fuck niggas, get money, and then underneath to put Notorious B.I.G. Junior Mafia, they'd be like, oh, grab your dick, and I did a show because nobody's perfect. That's the saying, right? Nobody's perfect. Mm-hmm. I did a show where I was talking about minimum wage and how working at McDonald's, that was a big thing back then. Like the whole, you're getting $15 to work at McDonald's, whereas a person who is a firefighter gets $12 to do whatever. That was a big button issue back then. And so I went in like, you know what? And my mindset back then was, you know what? My kids work at McDonald's. I don't want them getting paid $15 for their first job because then they'll never leave. Yeah, it was immature. Yeah, it was stupid. But yeah, it was my logic. Mm-hmm. That was then. When you listen to it in context and you actually sit back and learn from people, you grow. That's the only way you can grow. And so when they came back at me like, nigga, that whole statement that you just made was problematic as fuck, I was like, you know what? You're right. And I did a whole another episode talking about how sinister it was, how problematic that statement was, and apologize and move forward. That's all you can do. It's just you got to have people who are willing to allow you to apologize, and to move forward. And that doesn't tend to happen as much as it should anymore, period.
Right. And you got to put in the work yourself.
Yes.
So, yeah. Mike, he had a router issue he dropped off. He's trying to get back, so he'll be back in a second. All right. Ving Rhames says police held him at gunpoint in his own home.
Yeah, that was fun.
What's that shit say? What was that NWA song?
Fuck the police?
No. Nigga for life. Nigga for life.
Yeah, niggas for life.
NWA is problematic, but he said, what they say? You just, like, whatever you do, you still a nigga. And
Jay-Z said it best, man.
Vin Rhames basically said, I get up, I open the door, and there's let me do it in his voice. I get up, I open the door, and there's a red dot pointed at my face from a 9mm, and they say, put your hands up, literally. And the actor explained that the group of police included a man Rhames said was the captain of police who recognized him because their sons played basketball against each other. They recognized me and apologized and said, why are you doing this? He said to me. A woman called 911 and said a large black man was breaking into the house. Rhames said he and the police went over to the woman's house and she denied it. So here I am in my own house, alone in some basketball shorts, just because someone called and says a large black man is breaking in. My problem is, what if my son, and he had a video game remote or something, and the police thought it was a gun, just like Trayvon Martin had a bag of Skittles.
Yikes.
I'm scared of white women more than anybody else in the world right now.
Should be.
Because it's getting back to the point where white women will swiftly do the same shit that white women did to Emmett Till. They'll do the same shit that always works for them, which is call the police and then say it was a mistake after we're dead. And it's not a joke. It's not funny that they are using the police as a secondary form of enforcement for them. Like they are using it not as law enforcement, just as their own personal rules enforcement. I feel badly for Ving. I feel badly for him because the dude who came to his house knew him, but yet and still had to come out because of protocol. I feel badly that he had to describe why he was there to this person and hope that his son wasn't there to witness it or experience it. Like, this is all bad, and it's not getting any better because, in all honesty, two reasons. One, white folks, you ain't checking your white folks. If white folks came out a rule where whenever you call the cops on somebody, if there's nothing going on, you'll get arrested or you'll get a $4,000 ticket. Right. You'll get something. I bet you that shit will stop. But they don't
have something. Yeah, they gotta have some accountability for doing that to people, yo. Because like you said, that could end somebody's life, yo. And for you to make a phone call that you suffer no repercussions from getting somebody killed, that's unjustifiable.
I am not here to defend the police ever, but
Never.
I don't blame the police on this one.
No, they're doing their job.
They're doing their job. If somebody I'd be mad if you say somebody breaking into this house, the police got to come. But this act, I mean, I'm not here to give credit to the police, but I mean, it might have been different if he wasn't a celebrity. But this police officer showed up, and they said, he don't look like I know him. He not robbing this house. Let's go. And then they took the extra step to say, let's go talk to this woman. And then she lied. She just lied. No, I ain't do it. Y'all know we record these calls, right, bitch? We record these calls. Right. We know it's you. Yeah. We know it's you. Still didn't do it. But yeah, that was really sad. Mike, I want Mike to talk about this Star Wars thing, so I'll try to hold it off, see if he can get back in. So I'll go to a couple other things really quick. Brian Christopher died. Grandmaster Sexay from Too Cool. Jerry Lawler's son died at 46 years
that's
old.
who that. Okay,
the dude from Too Cool.
Yep.
I didn't know that's what I didn't know that's what he was. I was like, oh shit. I was like Jerry Lawler. I mean, because I saw the last name, but I didn't know.
He wasn't the one who did the worm. He was the one who didn't really do much of anything. They were both supposed to be jokes, as far as I remember. Yeah. But then they hooked up with Rikishi and became big, they were initially. The junior heavyweight class, which light heavyweight class, and they weren't really fighting anybody. And then Rikishi came and they got that whole hip hop dance thing. So they blew up by that because Rikishi. And then they started doing the worm and all that kind of stuff. And that wasn't going to last forever. And he didn't really have talent, to be honest. And then after that fell off, he went into drugs, I believe. He started slanging.
He was always into drugs the whole time, and it just caught up with him, and he hung himself. So, wrestling death. I hate to say it, but it happens too often.
Don't forget about my man Nikolai
Volkov. I mean, he was old. He was old. He had a heart attack. But yeah, Nikolai Volkov partnered with the Iron Sheik back in the day, so he passed away as well. Did you guys know Gotham was still on?
No.
No. I you know what? I did know it was on because on Hulu it keeps showing me that it's on.
Well, this is the last season of Gotham this season, and apparently Bruce and Selena's relationship will undergo a major change in season 5. So
they gonna start fucking?
They're 12.
Well, he's in the show. He's 16 or 17 now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he started out at 12 or 13. This is season 5, so he's 16 or 17 now.
He put a little mask on last season, I think.
He put on his S&M mask.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Maybe they fucking now. Maybe I don't know.
Andy Serkis' Mowgli moves to Netflix. So Disney did the Jungle Book remake, and it was fantastic. Okay. But the Jungle Book is public domain, which means anybody can use that. It's not a property owned by any one person. So anybody can make a movie about the Jungle Book. So Warner Brothers said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a movie about the Jungle Book. And they got Andy Serkis, who, I like Andy Serkis. And they were going to the movie was supposed to be released on October 19th. And now it will be a view on Netflix. And you know what? I'll give it a chance on Netflix.
Yep.
I'll give it a chance on Netflix. Mowgli developed dates back to 2012 with a number of directors including Alexandra Inarritu, Ron Howard in talks for the project. At one point, Serkis boarded the project 2014, which would be his directorial debut. Around the same time as Jon Favreau's Disney's live-action remake of the animated 1967 Jungle Book was green-lit. In spite of competition, Warner Bros. Moved forward with the project, dating the film for an October 2016 release, but the studio pushed back the release to October 2017 before Favreau's Jungle Book came out in 2016. Favreau's version grossed $966 million worldwide.
That shit was good.
It was good. By moving to Netflix, Mowgli will at least be able to avoid the box office comparison, which won Oscars for visual effects. Mowgli sees Serkis play Baloo, through performance capture. He's great. He's the best motion capture person there is. With other stars including Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan.
Getting money.
Kate Blanchett playing Ka, the snake. Christian Bale playing, what's his name, Bagheera?
Yeah.
Matthew Rice playing John Lockwood, and Rohan Chan playing Mowgli. They got some stars, though. Okay.
Hold on. Oh, like, when you were saying them names, I literally thought you was talking about the goddamn the box office release. You're talking about this shit on Netflix. That is crazy.
Yeah, that's
That
going to be crazy. And I'm a huge fan of Kate Blanchett, so I would love to see her as the snake. So, yeah, I'll give it a check. God, I want Mike to get back so we can talk some of this. All right. Let me try to skip over a couple stuff. 10 most anticipated TV premieres in August. Are you guys looking forward to any of these? Number one.
I mean, is Insecure up here?
Number one, Better Call Saul. Do y'all watch that?
I watched the first 2 seasons, I think. Maybe the first season, but it's Netflix. It's like, I mean, it's not Netflix, but I watch it on Netflix. So by the time it becomes available on Netflix, I've usually moved on to other things.
Yep.
But the first season was cool. My issue with Better Call Saul is I already know how it ends.
I never watched Breaking Bad, so I'm good.
Breaking Bad was phenomenal. And I watched that. I sat down and watched that again a couple weeks back. I watched that like I watched The Wire. But I know how everybody's going to end because I watched Breaking Bad. So I'm not really into prequels unless they're like really something phenomenal or they're something completely different.
You mean like Prometheus, right? No,
I mean like Captain Marvel better be. I heard what you said. Prometheus, that shit was.
Ballers comes out August 12th. Did you y'all watch Ballers?
I did.
Brandon, the only reason I watched it because it came on after Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned it every. I mean, you played your Madden tournament every time I was with you. You got back on Madden, so I'm gonna say no. Hard pass for me.
Insecure.
Denzel Washington's brother Denzel Washington's son is phenomenal on the show, but I just feel like it's dry.
Yeah, it's kind of dry. It doesn't move. Yeah, it doesn't move.
Insecure is back the same night, season 3. Issa Rae.
We all here for it.
We'll be reviewing that. We'll be reviewing that every week. Fear the Walking Dead. Y'all watch that?
Nah. I watched the first season and I thought it was okay, but then, I don't really get down with the zombies and I'm not really into that shit, so.
There's some other Netflix and Amazon Prime. Some cartoon called Disenchantment. The Simpsons.
Looks like Futurama. Yeah.
The Simpsons and Futurama Mastermind makes its streaming debut with a new animated series. Futurama was great. So.
Yep. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a look, definitely.
Yeah. So okay, let's do this.
Here we go.
Toxic fandom strikes again. And the deal.
Hey, hold on, time out, Brandon. How you forget about Jessica Biel's debut as the director on the USA Network called The Sinners? How did you forget about that?
I don't know shit about the goddamn Sinners.
I don't either, but I mean, you forgot about it.
I didn't forget about it. I skipped it on purpose. Anna Diop disables Instagram comments as racist trolls claim actors too dark to play an orange alien. This is just another black and brown person, specifically woman. We just saw Kelly Marie Tran from Star Wars go through this. We saw Daisy Ridley go through this. It's just, and then they're like, you don't look like Starfire. Bitch, she's orange. Okay, here's the thing. If you told me, you know what I want from Starfire? I don't care if it's a black woman playing Starfire. I wish they gave her a paint job like Dave Bautista and made her orange like Starfire. I wouldn't necessarily agree with you, but I would go, okay. You want them to spend money on makeup, that much money, so she can look like Starfire. Okay. You don't care that she's black. You just want it to look like the comic book. I'm fine. I mean, I'm not fine, but okay. That's not what these people are saying. They're saying she's too dark. It'd have been fine if she was lighter skinned or white playing Starfire, but because she's a dark skinned black woman, she can't be Starfire. Get the fuck out of here. God.
It hurts. It just hurts. I mean, it's the world we live in, man. It sucks. It really does suck.
And then
I don't know.
And then they get on, and they just go on and on and on and on and on to the point where these women start to just like, I don't need to be on social media anymore because these motherfuckers are so toxic. It's not a fun place for me. And they get off. It's just, I don't.
Have you guys seen those commercial about masculinity, the definition of it?
A commercial?
The hashtag is called Evolve, but they're interviewing guys and they're saying, what does masculinity mean to you? And then they have some flashcard that says macho, tough, toxic.
I'm still caught up on the word commercial. I had to Google it. I haven't seen one in a really long time.
You know what? I want to be like you, sir. I want to be like you. Clap your hands, sir. Take a goddamn laugh.
Like everything we do is streaming. I don't commercials. Like what?
I still gotta watch ESPN and shit though. So like that's why I saw that. But yeah, it's a really good thing. I mean, hopefully more people, will catch on to it. But yeah, like we have to evolve as far as what we think masculinity is and what being masculine is, and how we go about, I guess treating people. You have to evolve, man, because it's no place for that,
Yep. But you know how people evolve?
Nah.
Talking with other people about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never know about a new idea unless, there's times that people think a new idea is sure, but 9 times out of 10, somebody else has got to tell you about that new thing. So
this is very true.
Take those steps forward. That's all. It's nothing serious. It just is what it is, Toxic masculinity is easy to overcome. We just have to be willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did one of my episodes, a Single Simulcast, was an episode called Talk to Your Homeboys. And it was about kids on my
welcome back, Mike.
It was kids on my older son's basketball team, his AAU team, who were juniors in high school at that time, I believe. And their parents wouldn't talk to them about how to respect women. Wouldn't talk to them about sex. Wouldn't talk to them about none of that stuff. So I talked to them about it and made the parents so uncomfortable that the coach was like, hey, man, just go get some hot dogs for these kids. Nobody wants to talk to their kids about how to respect women. Nobody wants to talk to their kids about how to not rape women. Nobody wants to talk to their kids about when you walk up to a woman and says, hey, can I get your number? And she says, no, you know what you do next? You don't try again, nigga. You go to fuck home.
You know what they will talk to their kids about, though?
That new outcast.
No, not even that. They'll talk to their female kids about don't go here.
Men being don't wear this.
Don't wear this. Don't talk like this to men because they may get upset. Don't be fast. Don't have sex before you're 30. Like they will talk to them about that. Dads and moms, but they're not talking to the little male kids about you might want to not grab on girls' butts when they're walking away from you. It's not a good idea, buddy. Saying bitches ain't shit ain't probably not the best song to be singing when you're walking down the street.
Hey, masturbation's not bad. It's not bad. You don't have to take it. Masturbation's not bad. It's not. It's okay, and you can walk away and you can have a good night as well by yourself. You don't have to fuck that woman.
There's no such thing as blue balls, y'all. None. Walk it off. Go jack off. If she says no, you know what you could go do right now? Go jack off. You can literally walk into the room right now and go jack off and be fine.
Be just fine.
I feel like I rejoined this at this worst possible time.
No, we're talking about ways to combat toxic masculinity and all those beliefs that people have about.
I didn't hear that part. I just heard that you should just do it.
Yeah, talk about things that people believe you have to do to be a real man in this society. And honestly, in my opinion, just me being Rashanii, being cool, whatever. A real man in this society is somebody who's willing to say, you know what, I fucked up. I apologize. You know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to walk away. You know what, all of y'all are going to do this. I would advise you to not. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to talk about my feelings. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be open with my ideas and my emotions. And niggas and white folks and Latinx and whoever always have folks in those groups who just don't apply to that idea. And it's sad. Because that's how you end up with folks who are saying, well, you read about a young lady who was sexually assaulted, and then you don't have to go too far down the comments. Well, if she hadn't been wearing that. Yep. Well, if she had just said okay. Well, if she had just been nicer to him. There was a dude a serial killer killed somebody and a ministry. And on their page was talking about it and was like, I don't want to sound bad about it, but if she had just been nicer to him.
Or just let him do it so he would have got it over with. Like, no.
Exactly. I bet if she had to do it again, she would have been nicer to him. Nigga, she's dead.
I was talking to some of my students the other day, my students that work for me at the school, and they were talking about the Catholic beliefs and stuff. And we started talking about, like, getting a divorce or an annulment, because the Catholic Church will, like, provide an annulment for, like, certain things. And then I was like, what about, like, domestic violence? And they were like, nope, that's not on the list. So I'm like,
oh my God.
So, don't even get me started on all that.
So that's not on the list. So in the church's eyes, if I get a divorce because this nigga was beating the shit out of me, I can't get married again in the Catholic Church because you didn't approve my annulment. Okay. All right. So that was an interesting conversation to have with them because they knew a lot more about that subject than I did, obviously.
Well, just on the record here, I told that to my very Catholic mom, who was appalled, by the way, and my girlfriend's mom, who's Catholic, and they were, she was also appalled. So I don't think I think this is a Catholic university problem, though. I'm not sure I should be saying that. I haven't shipped my degree yet.
No. I'm talking about the annulment part. They were saying the church won't annul it. That they have a certain list of things that qualify for an annulment. And that's not one of them. You know what one of them is on there, though? If you lie. Like, if you say, like, I didn't do something and then you did it, actually, then that could qualify as an annulment.
Deceiving your partner. Yeah. I mean, I guess before you married her.
I'm probably fucking it up, but that's basically what I got from it, to simplify it.
Sounds about yeah, I was there.
Here you go, Mike. Here's something for you to talk about. Star Wars Episode 9 announces its cast, including Carrie Fisher. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. And a lot of people were, it's hard to get any honest feedback from Star Wars news, given, all the trouble we have with them. I actually think that's, as long as her family's cool with it, I don't have a problem with it. But I think they could, a lot of people are like, how are you going to pull that off? And after seeing, Tarkin wasn't terrible in Rogue One, and neither was her little brief appearance at the end there. So I'm not necessarily worried.
But they also said they found a way to honor Carrie's legacy and role as Leia in Episode 9 by using unseen footage we shot together in Episode 7.
And that's even better than CGI, honestly. Honestly, I trust as long as like the family was cool with it, and I think it was, because I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a statement from her brother. I don't have a problem. The only time I would have a problem with that is if the family was like, we really didn't want that to happen. But I think the family was cool with it, and I trust them to do her justice. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm all for the Star Wars love, even more so than before, just because I hate some of these toxic people.
Well, I saw them do Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War, and I said, what the fuck is this technology that they got here? Because that shit looks so real. So
wait, what?
And Civil War.
You mean when he was young? Yeah, I watched. Yeah. I watched an interview with him recently about that, and he was talking about that scene. And I think it was with one of the late night guys, either Fallon or Kimmel, I forget. And they were like, I was shocked to see that. And Robert Downey Jr. was like, yeah, I was shocked to see that. It looks just like him when he was little, like when he was younger, when he was 20 or something. So they can do it. They'll be fine. I'm not worried.
Oh, I forgot to say this. Peter Dinklage is doing a Rumpelstiltskin movie.
I
forgot. I forgot to put that on there.
I didn't mean to laugh, but it's not laughing at his size or anything. He's actually, Rumpelstiltskin was a little person, so that works. I'm laughing because Peter Dinklage is so, A, fucking wonderfully sarcastic that he will be perfect at Rumpelstiltskin, and B, the name Dinklage just makes me laugh. Sorry, Peter Dinklage sounds like Dick to me. I'm sorry, I can't.
Dick. Thank you, sir.
So that's why.
Why Robin said "fuck Batman" in the Titans trailer?
Thank you. I was waiting for this shit.
Oh, I can tell you why.
Why?
And I don't even know what Brandon's going to say.
Why? What do you think?
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I would assume that they took the original in the way this originally went down is that, you know, they were partners, and Dick didn't like the way that he was being babied. You know, he thought he could be more useful, and so they left, they separated, and Dick went his own way. Not necessarily in the in the original story, Dick wasn't necessarily enemies with Batman. But he just separated and wanted to be his own thing to prove to Batman that he could be his own thing. I think that
he would never say fuck Batman.
No,
so, Brandon,
I think that the Titans show was like, look, we got this R rating now. Like, let's use it. We got to use that, you know?
TVMA.
And they took that story and they're like, well, I'm sure that this is something someone would say in a situation like, I feel like I don't even want to talk about that.
Brandon, go ahead.
That's basically what Jeff Johns said. That's basically what he said. And other
it's all
DC
because
news
they have that R rating
that I forgot to put on. But God, what is wrong with this man?
Jim Jeffries.
Zack Snyder.
I don't know how much I missed during my internet outage, but I have a few things. If you're done with your big stories.
No, we're not done yet. We haven't even got to the big story. We're about to after this. I forgot to tell you guys this too.
Okay.
Zack Snyder confirms the Joker killed Dick Grayson in Batman v Superman.
Stupid.
Wait, what?
So you know the Robin costume with the battle axe?
Yeah. I'm just.
Apparently that's Dick.
Wow.
Why couldn't they just made it Jason Todd?
Who knows? So done.
And why is he trying to retcon shit? Niggas don't. He knows folks don't fucking like that movie, so why even talk on it? Why not just let it die? Because he knows niggas don't like him either. I get it now. Thank you, Rashanii. You're welcome, Derek.
Oh my God!
All right,
Zack Snyder
that has
is
been
so
split personality with Rashanii and Derek.
God, Lee, they just keep stepping on their own feet. Like that doesn't even make. I'm not even gonna get into it. Doesn't even make sense. All right. Did y'all see that Jim Jeffries thing with Richard Meyer?
We did.
Yes.
So Richard Meyer, for those of you who don't know, is the guy who runs the Diversity in Comics YouTube page, which basically he and his people, he does a ton of videos shitting on diversity in comics. So particularly LGBT people. I mean, racism's there, and his followers are racist, and he's racist too. But his focus is on like trans people, gay people, lesbians, bisexual people, and especially when they're in the comics and things like that. Like that's his big thing that he hates so much. And so Jim Jeffries, the comedian, went to Comic-Con and interviewed some people. And I just have to play the beginning of this to give a talking point. So let's play.
The biggest geek good news story of 2018 so far is the blockbuster success of Black Panther. It was a worldwide phenomenon. Plus, thousands of African American kids packed movie theaters to finally see a superhero who looks like them. Now, Marvel and DC are putting diverse characters in the spotlight and even tweaking old favourites. So I headed to San Diego Comic-Con to soak up the inclusive vibes. But I soon learned that for some, the good old days of comics are fading away.
So, comic book guy?
I am. Used to be.
Why do you say used to be?
Oh, I stopped reading it over the diversity issue.
And overall, they've been changing comic book characters a little too much.
There's a comic book tradition, in a way, how each character should look.
I think when they start making Superman gay and, Aquaman transgender, it's like, I don't go around and parade what I am, don't go around and parade what you are.
Ah, for
All right.
Wow.
So, that is a prevailing view from a lot of people on Twitter and not just Twitter, in the comic book space. I used to talk to Mike about this all the time, about like how toxic people are in the comic books and how it's just so like frustrating to see. And what people don't realize is even if you don't believe those things, if you come out and be like, I don't like Riri Williams, right? She's Ironheart, but for a period of time she was Iron Man, the Iron Man. And be like, I don't like Riri Williams. And you could be like, I don't like Riri Williams because I didn't like the story. And you may personally not like the story. However, there's a lot of people who don't like Riri Williams because she's a black woman being Iron Man. And then they say they don't like the story because they don't want to be overtly racist. And so it creates this thing where people hide behind, well, the stories just aren't as good. Well, you're changing the characters too fast. And it's really problematic because it's not even really changing the characters. Like so before this, you probably had like 97% of the characters in the big
White
two
males.
were white males. And then probably 90% of the characters were white. And then now it's probably like 90% of the characters are white males and like 88% of the characters are white. And then they're like, oh, no, you can't do this. You're ruining my comics. This shit made me so mad. Mike, what did you think when you saw it?
Well, I caught wind of that from Heather Antos's Twitter feed, who's the...
From Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to Brandon and Devin in our group chat. She's the writer of Gwenpool, and she does a bunch of Star Wars stuff. And she, I guess someone was like, one of these toxic guys has been like fighting with her or whatever. And she sent this long tweet to Jim Jeffries, basically just tearing him apart. That's how I heard of this. And then I watched like a little bit of the thing Brandon said, but I stopped because a big part of her thing was like, don't even pay attention to Jim Jeffries. So I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'll do it. Heather Antos doesn't want me to pay attention to Jim Jeffries. I'll do that for her.
You mean Richard Meyer?
No, her thing was about
the little segment Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, see, I've seen that. So.
It wasn't about him though. She was mad at Jim Jeffries Jim Jeffries interviewed him and put him in the spotlight.
Yeah, see, I've heard that argument, and see, I don't want to sound like somebody coming from privilege, so I definitely want Rashanii to jump in this, but I hear that often. Like, you hear it a lot with, like, Trump supporters, and they're like, or Trump himself, and they're like, don't talk about that, or don't talk about the racism. And part of me is like, Richard Meyer never showed his face on his YouTube channel. So that was one of the big things in the video, is that, like, they showed his face.
Jim Jeffries put him in that spotlight.
Yes, and I was like, yes, somebody needs to show his fucking face so when he walks around in public, people know he's the piece of shit YouTube diversity and comics dude. Like, they can chastise his ass in public. Like, Maxine Waters was like, you got to run up on people and don't let these Trump supporters get away with shit. And people got mad, and I was like, what are you mad for? Like, the only way to get people to do better, possibly to get these racist people to stop, is you shame them to the point where even if they don't believe it, they got to stop at least acting on it. You got to shame these people out of it. So I watched the whole thing, and at no point, I mean, maybe I took it the wrong way. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but at no point did he seem to like justify Richard Meyer's beliefs. It seemed like he was making fun of him the whole time, right to his face. And then in the narration proceeded to go over him and go over how fucked up it is. Did you guys get that, or did you take it a different way?
Well, I just heard what she said, and I don't know. I mean,
checked out.
I kind of see what Brandon's saying. Jim Jeffries didn't necessarily agree with him, but she's coming at it from the perspective that that his show was being like disrespectful to her when she was trying to ask them about it. Or, I mean, I have a whole thing here. It's kind of long, so I don't know if I want to read it on this, but she basically is just saying that, like, Jim Jeffries reached out to her to talk about the diversity in comics. She said no, and when she declined, she declined due to a whole year of targeted abuse, harassment, and threats to herself and other women and minorities in the industry.
Yeah, that makes sense. She ain't want to go on there because she didn't want to get even more targeted. I get that.
And so she's mad, and then she goes on to say she's mad because after she said no, she wasn't going to talk about it, Jim Jeffries reached out to that guy, giving him an international spotlight. And then she goes on to just say that, like, you know, she claims that he's giving a toxic and dangerous voice to an even larger spotlight to grow his audience and income. That's what she says Jim Jeffries is doing.
Rashanii, what's your take on this?
All I know about Jim Jeffries, I learned from listening to those comedy routines on Sirius satellite radio.
Yeah.
He seems like a trash bag.
Without question, that's easy.
Without question.
Who would easily discount a lady to speak with somebody that he thinks is inflammatory and is going to help out whatever conversation he's trying to push forward, whatever subject matter. If two problematic motherfuckers get into a room and talk, did anything interesting get said? I mean, honestly, no. So, I mean, when you sent me this thing, I watched as much of it as I could. I watched him unveil this dude. I watched him ask this dude the same question that anybody would have asked this dude. And I was like, okay. It's a white guy who's probably a Trump supporter who's mad about diversity. Why not ask some black women, some black femmes, some black queers, some even black men how they feel about diversity? Because why are you asking this white dude about Black Panther? Help me with that. Like, why is this happening? So I cashed out. I got to be honest with you. And it didn't make Jim seem any better to me. He smells like a piece of shit. He smells like he looks like a piece of shit. He looks like he smells.
I mean, like, I was like, well, goddamn, you got smell-o-vision and you ain't even let nobody else in?
Hey, man, it's that new 4K. It's that new Outcast. But it's the problem is that we keep letting these same type of people lead us into these conversations. You know, people privileged who aren't going to lose anything from having these conversations that they say are quote unquote brave, quote unquote piercing, quote unquote searing, and it's really a white guy talking to a white guy about white guy stuff.
But here's the thing, and I agree with you for the most part. But one of the things that happens, unfortunately, and this is a bad thing, is that people don't listen to marginalized people, right? So, like, how many times would a woman say, yeah, you probably, like, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, and men be like, man, these bitches be tripping. And then your homeboy, and then your homeboy say that to you, and you be like, oh, God, I didn't even think about it like that. Because,
man, that's deep. That's deep, bro.
Yeah, that's deep, because you listen to, even though the woman's been saying the same thing, it's the whole thing. Like, a woman say, I don't, you go up to a woman, ask them to talk to, and they be like, no, I don't want to give you my number. And you get, oh, why can't you get my number? And you keep trying. And then you go up to a woman and be like, yo, can I get your number? And they be like, no, my boyfriend's right over there. I don't really want to do that. And the guy goes, oh, okay. Because they don't really respect the woman. They respect the guy. They respect the guy and go, I don't want to mess with your property, quote unquote, by trying to talk to your girl, that type of thing, right? So one of the things here interests me, because I know Jim Jeffries is trash, but this is an audience that I think, because I'm so into this comic book thing, it is really a problem. And I think this is an audience of people who, a lot of them probably, the same people who watch Jim Jordan are the same people who, probably a big cross-section of people who probably might be into Richard Meyer and diversity in comics. And at no point in this video did he present that as a good thing. Even though he might be trash, he presented Richard Meyer as being like more trash. And as somebody who operates in that space and then sees like specifically queer women and men getting attacked by these people, I think that anytime you can present that person in a bad light to people who might look at them in a good light, and then they trust the person that it's coming from. So, like, it's the whole thing, like, if Obama says something, white people are like, fuck Obama, I don't like that, but Trump comes in and says the same thing. They listen to it. Not that he said very many of the same things as Obama, but if he did, they would listen because it's coming from a voice that they want to hear it from. And at the end of the day, with something like this, I particularly don't care who you hear it from as long as you get the message and stop being toxic as fuck. So that's kind of how I took it.
There's your point is extremely valid. In that we will take the same thing said by somebody else, and depending on who said it, give it as much gravitas as we feel it deserves. And you can actually hear that in any spectrum of conversation when there's guys and there's ladies on the same show. To be completely honest with you, I struggle every episode when I'm on a show with Shantae. I struggle every episode when I'm on a show with Stephanie. I struggle every episode when I'm on Storytellers. And it's not, I tell myself it's not me. I don't try and like mansplain. I don't try and do any of that. I just talk a whole fucking lot. And so I talk over them. And I feel horribly about it when I hear myself do it, but I get a joke in my head and I'm like, I have to get it out. This isn't that same sort of thing. This is like the mindset that folks have, which is that women can't explain things or women can't do things as well as men can do it. And that's a problem that isn't going to get any better without somebody actually standing up and saying this is some bullshit. But we aren't trying to say that.
Right. But I also don't want to put like a black woman in the position to have to do this either. Right. So like I shared this clip on Twitter, but it was from State of the Union like a week ago. And Nina Turner was on there with like this white Democratic dude. And then I think it was like Rick Santorum and some other white Republican. Oh, it was this white woman from the Federalist. So she's like a conservative writer, but supposedly who doesn't like Trump, but she's a conservative writer. And at one point they go on and Nina Turner was like something about racism, and racism's been a fabric of the American, like it's been a backbone or the rock of American history, something like that. Like she basically was like, racism runs in our veins.
Right, it's our DNA. Yeah,
and the woman who writes for the Federalist was like, I don't think that'd be a smart political strategy to go with for 2018, saying America's racist. And she fucking lost it. And she's like, what are you talking about? Are you going to tell me that this blah, 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 blah? And the woman's like, I'm not saying, I'm just saying it's not a smart thing. And America is the greatest country in the world. And yeah, we have some racist things. And she's just going, and then she just completely, and I'm watching it, and it's getting shared all over Twitter. Like it was getting shared everywhere. And people were like, way to go, Nina, you shut those racists down, blah, 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 blah. And I'm watching it, and the whole time I'm fucking triggered because I'm like, this black woman is in this room with all these white people, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs, defending the humanity and the factual evidence that America has a history of racism. And she has to try to somehow explain that to these white people who know the fucking answer. And she's explaining that because she's so frustrated because they're talking about this like it's this thing that they can look at from 3,000 feet away, when in reality it's her reality in her life. And she's like, you haven't lived a day in my shoes and blah blah blah. And it's hard because some people be like, well, you should have a black person do this, you should have a black woman do this, or Asian woman or something like that, Hispanic woman. And I'm just like, well, if your argument is we just ignore Richard Meyer, then that's not helping, because before this, he already had hundreds of thousands of people on his YouTube. So if I can get 10 people, 15 people, 100 people, 1,000 people who might watch this show and be like, I didn't see it this way, but this is fucked up, I'm not fucking with this dude anymore, then I can deal with that, as opposed to like putting a black woman in that position. Like, could you imagine if that wasn't Jim Jeffries, but that was Francesca used to be on a Daily Show, talking to him, like that would trigger the fuck out of me if she was up there trying to, and she's up there trying to talk to him, and he's just straight to her face. Well, it's too many black women in these comic books, blah, blah, blah. That would fuck with me. So I don't know. I definitely see where everyone's coming from though on that one. But I just wanted to talk about that because one, the fact that he was fucked up and he finally got interviewed, but two, exactly what Heather Antos was saying was how Jim Jeffries handled it, and should we give people like this, put them on TV or not? I always struggle with what you're supposed to do with those things. But yeah, that was
Mike. Go ahead and jump in with your stories, boss.
Hold on, Mike. Hold on.
Oh.
I got a couple more. Then
I'm about to get out of here because I gotta go, guys.
I got two more. Okay, Saga is taking a year-long break. Whatever. I'll be sad for a year. This is a spoiler, but in the new Infinity Wars book, Marvel killed Thanos. Chopped his head clean off. Beheaded him. So he dead in the comic books. Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
Just that I saw an article that popped up as we were speaking that said Disney is meeting with James Gunn after what Dave Bautista and the rest of the Guardians crew did.
That's an interesting one because when I saw Dave Bautista say those things, I said to myself, I go, if I was a nobody and this dude made me a somebody, and the dude that I knew wasn't the dude that wrote these tweets, I can't act like I might not feel some type of way. I don't know. You think that's wrong, Rashanii? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Look, I'm trying to think of what else Dave Bautista's done in his life as far as movies other than Hotel Artemis.
Exactly. He did that James Bond movie, I think. And Guardians.
Yeah, so the James Bond movie, they never had the same villain in it twice. Guardians can go on till forever, and he keeps getting written into really funny parts because James Gunn keeps writing them. I can see that he sees where his bread is buttered. I'm okay with him arguing it. I'm not going to do it because, honestly, he's going to bounce back.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody bounces back. Nobody cares enough to make sure that these motherfuckers don't bounce back.
Johnny Depp was out there on fucking Hall H performance for Warner Brothers 20 minutes before Amber Heard came out for Aquaman. He beat the fuck out of Amber Heard. And Warner Brothers was like, you know what? We're going to send Johnny Depp right out here. And we know Amber Heard is right behind that curtain. And she's going to come out next. But, it's Johnny Depp, so we're going to send him out here. So, white man going to bounce back. Bryan Singer still did movies. Like, James Gunn will be just fine. But I can't, like, some people are like, Dave Bautista, you fucking up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't knock Bautista because, if James Gunn really has become a better person and that's the dude you knew and he put you on, and now Bautista is getting acting jobs. I'm looking at his IMDb. He's got 5 movies in post-production. 5 movies in post-production, not named Guardians or Avengers. Yeah, of course he's protecting that dude. Not protecting, but of course he's backing that dude. I'm not gonna do it, but I can see why he would do it. I can absolutely see why he would do it, and I can see. And the whole thing is, this is not one of those things like. This is not one of those things where it's like, did somebody rape somebody? Like, that's a bullet that I'm never jumping in front of for nobody unless I was there. And I mean nobody. I love Devin. Devin's my brother. I don't think Devin would ever rape anyone. If he got accused of rape, I would say, I don't think Devin did that. I hope he didn't do it. I hope to God my brother wouldn't do something like that. That's about as far as I can go. And that's my closest family member that I have. I'm not jumping in those bullets like you see people do for Bill Cosby, Charlemagne, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if somebody truly did get better, like you can kind of know if he's a better person now. And if the guy you know is a decent guy, and yeah, you might jump in front of that bullet. So I can't really get angry at them. I can't. What else, Mike?
What was the other one? It was not as important. I've been listening. You guys have been talking.
By the way, Disney's not going to bring him back, though. That's not going to happen.
I think they will.
I
think they might. I think they might. It depends. I don't know. I honestly have not. This is one where I don't.
I mean, there was blatant hypocrisy. I mean, you fired the dude who made some tasteless jokes 7-8 years ago, but you hired. No. Well, not just that, but you just put out a movie with Johnny Depp as Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, the guy who beat the fuck out of his.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Did we talk about? I don't know if we talked about this in San Diego, but there was a part where I saw an article that said Johnny Depp goes to surprise fans at a panel, walks in, and Amber Heard is there, and it's the most awkward thing ever.
Oh no, that's
which is terrible. But I thought it was funny, not for any bad reasons. You know what? Never mind.
No.
I just read that. The other thing was I forget it. Honestly, I forget. It wasn't as important. The big one was the Disney's meeting with James Gunn.
Yeah. So this was a long episode we went, but it was great. Rashanii, thank you so much.
No
Rashanii
worries.
will be back on later this week. We'll be doing some more reviews once Movie Pass gets this shit together. We can get our movies out. But Rashanii, before we get out of here, once again, thank you so much. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media and find your podcast.
Look, y'all, I am not at all saying that I am a good person or a good follow. I'm just saying that I'm a good dude with real thoughts that is trying to be as honest as possible. If you follow me at Rashanii on Twitter, you're going to see a lot of stuff about mental health. You're going to see a lot of stuff about issues that are going on in my community. You're going to see a lot of stuff about basketball. If you follow me on Facebook, good luck, because I'm not giving you Facebook information. But you can follow the Single Simulcast page at Single Simulcast, and you'll probably see me there, at which point then you'll try and send me a friend. Look, don't send me a friend request on Facebook. Just follow me, okay? Just follow me. It's the easiest way to go about doing it. You get all of the happiness without me having to wonder, who the fuck are you? The show's available on iTunes, Libsyn, Blueberry, and at singlesimulcast.com, Stitcher, everywhere in the world. We've been sprinkled all over the place. I've been doing Single Simulcast since 2011, I think, maybe longer. I keep losing count. I'm grateful. It's a wonderful world, and as long as you're willing to grow and walk in it, you can walk with me as long as you want. But as soon as you start fucking up, I'm not going to cancel you. I'm just going to trip you, and I'm going to tell you that you're fucking up. Because if I didn't, I would not be a real friend. And if you're walking with me, that means that we're friends. Thanks for having me on, y'all. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Rashanii will be back. But thank you guys for listening so much to the show. We really appreciate all the support. I've been looking at the downloads. They've been going up recently, which is good for us as a new podcast. So keep listening. Keep sharing it with your friends. Please, if you listen to the show and you like the show, leave us a review. 5-star review helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the show. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you get your podcast app. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back soon.